Let's learn philosophy. If you study some poems, you can improve your philosophy. Let's look at those two poems. Poems by Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold wrote two poems, The Scholar Gypsy and Thyrsis. Out of these two poems, you can improve your philosophy. As a teacher, as I teach at universities, I teach students poetry by Matthew Arnold, and there I teach these poems. And there I usually try my best to make the students learn the process of becoming philosophers. So here in these poems, the other teachers may not look at this in this way. They only look at the poems accordingly, but they don't understand that Matthew Arnold has taught us how to become a philosopher in the light of these two poems. So here in this poem, Thyrsis is the name of his friend, and Thyrsis was a great scholar. He was a philosopher. The same thing he dealt with him in the poem The Scholar Gypsy. So here this Scholar Gypsy, the philosopher, that's the Scholar Gypsy. He was a student of Oxford University, but he did not want to continue studies because he thought studying there could not make him a philosopher. So what he did is he left the university, he quit the university. There's also some alternative idea that he was ousted from the university. Even when he was ousted from the university, it was all because he was in pursuit of philosophy. He found that studying at the University of Oxford, you cannot become a philosopher. The same thing has happened to Newman. Newman has also stated the same thing. He wrote a great book, The Idea of a University Defined, by Newman. There he said that Oxford University has faults. He has shown the university that can be universal place for learning knowledge, for learning philosophy and other norms and things, right? So how can you learn here? In this, the Scholar Gypsy, Matthew Arnold said that if you continue walking with the gypsy people, the nomads, those who were nomads, you could sometime, at a certain point of time, there's a quicksand moment there you can learn everything. So you are studying at Raj University. Many people say that if you just continue going to university, you will acquire knowledge. Even when you do not study, but still you can acquire knowledge. It's just a matter of walking and talking and just having good time at Raj University campuses, at other universities as well. You can learn a lot. So just move around at university, then you can learn. The same thing, if you study at Oxford University, if you stay there, if you just move around, then you can learn something that's philosophical, that's knowledge. That you can be a wise man, you can be a talented person. This is true. But at the same time, Matthew Arnold says that, and Newman also says in The Idea of University Defined, that Oxford University is not ideal university. When you study there, you will learn a lot of facts and figures, and you will get a lot of ideas, a lot of information. But you cannot get the philosophical insights. That's true. So there are faults. So in The Idea of a University Defined, Newman says that suppose you are in a dining table, a teacher is there. The teacher is a kind of invisible person. He will not affect the students. You are having fun together, your friends together, having food, and a lot of things come. Suppose one student tells, hey, turn on the fans on and turn up the lights, or turn on the lights and turn up the fans. So a student goes and he takes a long time to turn the lights on, he turns the fans off. And the teacher tells that, no, this and this, do this. Then you can quickly turn on all the lights and you can turn up the fans. It's in ISSB as well, in the military entry test. There you can be tested like that. So the thing is that even when you go to London and when you are studying, trying to study there, the admission form will be filled up. You have to be visiting a number of places for continuation, for the continuation of the education process. And this is how the people there can understand what kind of student you are, right? You're just having fun. You're just having dealing with people, how to fill up the form, what to do, what to submit, all these things. So the thing is that when a man moves around with the scholar Gypsy, at one point what happens, he will learn such a deep philosophy that even when he's in the other room, he can tell what's going on in the other room. So in one room there are some nomads, right? And in the other room you are there. If you're a philosopher, you can understand who they're talking about, what they're talking about, like that. So that's philosophy. Philosophy is something that can help you see what's invisible. So you only see what is visible, but philosophers can see what is invisible. So let's make a story. Thyrsis, the Westland Tales mentions a character, Thyrsis. He was once upon a time a man. He was basically a man, but once upon a time he was a woman for a number of years, kind of 7 years. And later he was even turned into a man, right? So Zeus's wife, another goddess, she asked Thyrsis, "Hey Thyrsis, you have been a man for quite some few years, true. You were a woman for 7 years, and previously you were a man. So you know what's a man, what's a woman, what's their feelings. So can you differentiate between the sexuality, the emotional overpower of a man and a woman, and who is more emotionally powerful than the other?" And Thyrsis was in a tricky position. He was in a snafu situation. He knew if he answered, the goddess would be very furious. And he did not want to answer it. And she kept asking him, "Hey, answer me. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. I'll not disturb you. I'll not punish you. Nothing. You are just free to answer whatever you have." So at one point he agreed, and he tells that women are more emotional, sexually more interested, sexually more overpowered, right? So the goddess could not accept it. She got furious and she made Thyrsis blind. He could not see anymore. Then he went to her husband, that is Zeus, the first God. So in Islam, Adam alayhi salam is the first caliph, right? Prophet. The first person on earth Allah has created, right? And similarly, in terms of gods and goddesses, Zeus was the first god, and he was her husband, right? And Thyrsis went to Zeus and apologized for all these things, and he asked for his eyesight back. But Zeus said that I can't do what the goddess did. So I can't make your blindness return, true. But what I can do is I'll give you insight. You can see whatever you people can see, and you, at the same time, can see what is invisible under the soil, under the earth, in the ocean, under the water. You can see everything. So he became a philosopher. Thyrsis became a man of insight, a lot of power. His eyesight could see whatever he wanted, right? So this insight is like philosophy. So a philosopher can see what's visible and what's invisible. So when you're watching this video, you can see the background, a lot of things. Some of you may be interested on the road, some of you may be interested in other things, you may be interested in the tree, and some may be interested in my dress, interested in my hairstyle and all these things. And some may be interested in my words, those who are very interested in studying philosophy, learning philosophy, wanting to become wise, learned, talented person, maybe more interested in my words, what I'm telling. So it depends. So it depends on the brains. Brains instruct you. So what you can do is you train up your brain so that the brains are directed to do what's good for you. So you're studying in a university, a lot of students are there, they learn something, but you don't learn that simple thing. You learn a lot of difficult things, wise things, talented things, right? So it depends on how you educate your brains. You have to focus on this. You have to make your brains understand that this knowledge is more important. Suppose you are in a class, when you finish your class and went back home and you went to bed, and next morning you found that you did not remember anything. Why? It's because in the classroom you're very unattentive, you're very much uninterested, you're not that much careful, you're not that much interested, you're not that much curious to learn what the teacher was saying. You're disturbed. You wanted to get the time over. As soon as the teacher is out, as soon as the class hour is over, you'll be happy, you'll be moving around. So after that, you went to bed and you sleep. What happens? The brain washes whatever is necessary, whatever is not. So as you were in the class and as you did not pay attention to the lecture the teacher gave, the brain, when you're sleeping, can understand that these are rubbish, these are dustbin. So the same thing I tell my students, that the maid servant has been sweeping the whole house, and later he found that suppose some papers are missing, some certificates are missing. What's the reason? It's because the woman did not know what is certificate and what is trash, what is garbage. So you have to train her that whenever you get some pages, you put them aside so that I can check and then I discard it. So it's good. You discard yourself. So tell her that don't brush out the papers. So this is how we can. So what is important is that after you finish your class, you go home, and before you sleep, before you go to bed, you turn over the pages, and you check, oh, sir told me this, that, oh, this is what, oh, I understand, yes. So this is how you can memorize and can remember, and when you are sleeping, then the brains understand that, oh, this is valuable, and it's defragmented, like the computer. When you push the defragment button, the computer will defragment the files, will arrange the files, will shelf the knowledge, the files in a good order. So this is philosophy. So that's why Socrates didn't have any teacher, didn't have any pen and paper, he had no teachers, nothing was there. But he became the philosopher of the Western world, the philosopher, the father of Western philosophy. Can you imagine? Even when he had nothing, so he became the most wise person. So the thing is that philosophy is most important. So time machine I talked about, I have a time machine because time machine cannot be discovered by the scientists. This is invented by your own brain, right? This is philosophy. Time machine is philosophy. So I talk about the elections. Oh, I've been moving around in the year of some, I don't want to mention it now. And there I found that elections going on at a certain day. I know, but I'm not going to tell you. I told my friends, if I tell it, then there'll be problem, right? So I have calculated, I have a time machine, I moved there and I found a date, and there I have seen that on this day, in this year, the elections going on in Bangladesh, and after the results came out, I found that this party won the majority. So I disclose everything to my friends. I'll let you know later. So it's all because I'm not a scientist. I have tried to become a philosopher. So the knowledge, philosophical knowledge, the insight, that's very vital. Even when you ride on a rickshaw, you'll find that the rickshaw puller is intelligent. It happens. It's not guaranteed that everything you can learn, you can understand. Even Rabindranath was a dramatist, was a playwright, everything, was the greatest literature. He was literature. He was the Nobel laureate on Gitanjali, the poem he translated, and later he got the Nobel Prize, right? So whatever. So the thing is that he had the philosophy, strong philosophy, deep philosophy. And there in Methua and all, as I mentioned, the scholar Gypsy, there we have found that out of a quicksand moment, the scholar Gypsy found that the students at Oxford University cannot pick up the philosophy, cannot understand what's going on in the next room. So he thought that it's better to go with the nomads, so that gypsies, so that I can become a philosopher, I can say what's going on in the other room. So he left Oxford University and he moved with the gypsies. And there is a quicksand moment, as I tell you, in Islam, Rasulullah learned everything. So Allah sent one messenger, and via the messenger, he got the information that he has to read. When he read Iqra in the name of Allah, then he got all the knowledge in his veins. Similarly, as Socrates was thinking, was doing his best to learn knowledge, acquire knowledge, he became very, very interested in improving his knowledge. One day, every time he tried to find out why this, why that, why, when he met young fellows and they said something and he asked, why do you think so? In such a way he did things with the students, with the learners, with the neighbors, that Socrates a little bit helped Plato, and Plato became also a great philosopher. And after Plato, the colleague and the student of Plato was Aristotle. He also became such a great philosopher, and later he taught the Alexander the Great, the son of King Philip II, Macedonia's King Philip II, and Alexander became the Great. So Alexander the Great. So all these are from philosophy. So as the teachers are not philosophers, as they do not have researchers, the problem is that students are not that much learning. They are learning, they're going to classes and they're coming back and not much happening. Right, so come back to the poem. So now let's go about Thyrsis. So in this poem, Thyrsis was their Ukti, he was an eternal, something like that. So why is it? Because that scholar Gypsy was moving around. So Thyrsis was the name of the scholar Gypsy. So he wrote two poems. The scholar Gypsy is, Oxford University, that he had not mentioned the name, and in the next poem, the name of the poem is Thyrsis, and Thyrsis is the name of his friend who was a student of Oxford University, and then he moved around with the nomads, with the gypsies, and that's how he picked up the philosophical insight. This is how you can improve philosophy, can become philosophers. That's it for now. Thank you.